Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another weekly polls video. And oh, sorry. One second. Sorry. Just hold on one sec. Sorry.
Probably wondering about the new background. I recently moved, which is pretty fun. Been very, very exciting, but a lot of work. So it's getting pretty tiring. But yeah, new place. But yeah, I wonder what's taking Elias so long. Usually we do stuff before it gets ready. Hey guys, welcome to the Cosmic Panel, where today we're going to be doing the weekly polls for September 6th. Summer is quote-unquote officially over, and so is Night Terrors, which is a breath of fresh air because we're getting a bunch of new DC books. Pretty excited to start off this week. Elias, what's your first pick?
So for my first pick, I have Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville #1. That's right, Fire and Ice are getting their own series, which is very exciting. I love them in Human Target. I think hopefully a lot of people were refreshed by them in Human Target. I hope that the editors pay a little attention to that in this series. And Natasha Bustos on the art, Joanna Stair on the writing. Not familiar with her work, but I think these characters are always tons of fun and they have a lot of potential. So I'm excited to see what this series brings.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Fire and Ice is one of those characters that really hasn't gotten spotlight since the 90s. Same thing with, let's say characters like Hawk and Dove, who
80s.
only recently got on the Titans show. But Fire and Ice has definitely been very fun, especially in Human Target. I really enjoyed their inclusion, loved their dynamic, and yeah, I'm excited to see more. I wonder why they're in Smallville, though. That is my major question, because that's not either of their hometowns. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that's going to kind of be the main basis of the thing, is putting them in a new place that they're not familiar with. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this unfolds.
Yeah.
What's first up for you?
First up for me is Kill Your Darlings, #1. Image is releasing a brand new book. Pretty vague with the story, but it's by brand new debut writers, Ethan S. Park and Griffin Sheridan. And yeah, I'm kind of down for it, just because for Image to take a brand new writing duo and basically give them their own series, have enough confidence, I'm kind of already sold on it. Because that's such a rarity within the comic landscape, I feel like, to have your own solo series immediately off the bat as your debut writing credit. But on top of that, the letterer is going to be the letterer from Vanish. And Bob Quinn is doing the art, who did the art for Knights of X. So I'm pretty excited. It seems to be like a mix between fantasy and reality with a darker side, featuring a girl's young imagination. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
Very interesting premise for this one. So yeah, I'm interested to see what this is all about.
And what's next for you?
Next up for me, I got Shazam #3. Shazam, unfortunately, was paused by Night Terrors. It was only 2 issues deep, which is kind of a shame because it didn't get too much momentum going. But I'm very excited to see it return. The Shazam Night Terrors were fun. Definitely weren't the worst out of the batch, but they weren't too amazing either. But yeah, let's get more info on the gods trying to take their powers back from Billy. So I'm excited to open up this issue.
Yeah, same. Shazam, it really was a shame that Shazam had to stop after only 2 issues for so long. They had to stop for 2 months, basically. So they lost 2 months worth of progress in their main story. So hopefully this can pick up on that slack. But it seems like we're getting a very classic-esque, almost golden or silver age story, where it's Apparently, he's visiting Africa, which is pretty funny. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see where Mark Waid is going to bring this story. He seems to have a vision, a very clear vision. Even you could see it through Night Terrors, and yeah, I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Next up for me is Birds of Prey #1. It has been so long since we had a Birds of Prey series. I believe the last one ended in 2019, if I can remember correctly.
And that was Batgirls and the Birds of Prey, right?
Yeah,
Batgirl.
it was Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. So this is a full-on just Birds of Prey series, and it features a pretty eclectic variety, honestly. Has Cassandra Cain, Harley Quinn, Big Barda, Dinah Lance, and I always forget her name, but Zealot, who is from the Wildstorm universe. But yeah, this is a pretty out there group. We have a lot of variety in this. But yeah, this is written by Kelly Thompson, who did the 50-issue Captain Marvel run and the phenomenal 13-issue or 16-issue, if I remember correctly, Black Widow run, which I really enjoyed. So seeing her kind of go to DC now after her stint at Marvel, I'm pretty excited to see where this is going to go. On top of that, we got Leonardo Romero on art, and we got Jordi Belair as the colorist. So pretty hyped. I'm very excited to see where it's going to go.
Amazing cover, amazing lineup. Very excited to start a new Birds of Prey book.
Yeah. Big Barda especially is the reason why I'm really excited, because anything to do with New Gods, I'm sinking my teeth into.
Yeah, that's right. Next up for me is another DC #1, which is Blue Beetle. This got changed from Blue Beetle Scarab War, which would have been another mini, to an ongoing Blue Beetle series. I really enjoyed the last arc, Graduation Day, the last mini series. So I'm excited to get more from this team. And Josh Trujillo, I think, has been doing a good job at being a great voice for Jaime. And yeah, Starfire is now kind of a mainstay of the book, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And my only thing is that I do wish that it was timed a little more with the movie. It seems like the hype is definitely died down by now. But either way, I'm excited to get some more comic action out of Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting Ted Cord, we're getting these classic characters, we're getting more Starfire, so I'm excited to see how this cast is going to expand, and we're going to be dealing with more about the actual Reach and Jaime's life after beginning to go into his post high school life. Next up for me is Barnstormers #3. This is the final issue in Barnstormers, and it's a short miniseries, but man, it's been packing a lot. Barnstormers 1 was phenomenal, basically got us involved with our main character, and then the second one basically made us interested in the love interest. And now we're kind of getting a conclusion to that. Basically what's happening is he's running away from the Pinkertons with Tilly, who is the love interest in this story. And yeah, Hawk and Tilly are basically on the run away from the Pinkertons, but also at the same time, he's having these almost like PTSD-esque visions, which might be due to the fact that he fought in the war, but at the same time, we don't really know. And yeah, the art has been phenomenal. Last issue ended with them killing someone, so I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Word. Next up for me is going to be X-Men #26. The wedding of Emma Frost and Tony Stark. If you guys have read Invisible Iron Man, latest issue, you probably are a little bit confused on that as well. They didn't really set up a romance between the two. They sort of just set up a necessary alliance, I would say.
Yeah.
I think this wedding is just going to be a matter of business in the Hellfire Club. I think that's the whole thing they're setting up. So it's less of a romantic wedding, less of a grand occasion, and more of a necessity thing. So I'm curious to read this issue to see how they decide to go about it, especially because Emma can't present herself to the world anymore, obviously. So, yeah. The last issue of X-Men, of course, without saying, was amazing. So I'm always excited for more from the main X-Men book right now.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely excited. I thought when this was originally announced, I thought it was going to be Tony trying to get Krakoan citizenship. I thought it was going to be Tony basically trying to get the one up. But it seems like vice versa, actually. Or Emma's kind of marrying him for her own gain. And Tony's going with it to help them out so that they can keep fighting the fight against Orcus. But yeah, I really do like their dynamic, though, where they're like, we don't like each other, but until our enemies are gone, we're allies.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it'll be something to do with like Kingpin and the deal he made with Emma. That hopefully we'll get more background on, because basically a couple Invincible Iron Man issues ago we got we just saw like Kingpin signing some sort of deal with Emma, and we didn't get details on that. So hopefully we get some more backstory on that. I am very curious to see how the Fall of X stuff continues to connect to each other. If there's going to be any other like main
event
points that happen, you know, where it's like a book like X-Men would be like, here's another turning point in this story, and then the other books have to show the ripples of that. But so far it seems to me like we're just going to kind of stick to them being on the run, and Immortal is going to show us, you know, where the majority of the mutants were transported to. But yeah, I'm just curious as this event unfolds to see how the books stay connected to each other, if they're not going to so much. But obviously Fall of X has to end at some point when all these limited series end. So I'm curious to see what the long game is.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited also.
You all caught up on your X books?
Only didn't read Miss Marvel. That was the only one I didn't read.
Okay. That's the one I was reading right before we started here, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next up for me is Doctor Strange number 7. After a phenomenal, I would say solo story, with General Strange, we are back at it again with the main story, and man, am I excited to see where the story is going to go. Last issue, we got to see basically the birth of General Strange, as he kept fighting for years upon years upon years for the Vishanti, to the point where he became so powerful that even the Vishanti were afraid of him. And to stop him from keeping up, and maybe even surpassing them, they basically separated him from our version of Doctor Strange. Made them basically two people. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen, and how much stronger is this version of Strange in comparison, because he has millions of years of combat experience. He has millions of years of just experience in magic, and he seems ready to use it to get back his life. And he doesn't seem to think that Strange, Steven, is the real version of him. So,
yeah, last issue was a true testament to the right way to do a one-shot, one-off story. You know, it compacted a lot of time into a little bit of time, you know, which I thought was done really masterfully. So I wonder what he wants with him, because really he should be after the Vishanti, I would say. So very curious to see what his motives are, what his end goal is. And yeah, just a truly terrifying version of Strange, who after thousands of years of a war didn't want to give up. He wanted to kill the other side, and they were like, no, we're having a peace treaty. And he's like, you're cowards.
Yeah, he was like, I put too much blood, sweat, and tears into this. We're seeing this through. And they were like,
yeah,
we can't afford that.
Yeah, crazy. So yeah, really excited to open this issue. Next up for me, my final pick of the week is going to be Immortal X-Men, number 15. not to be confused with regular X-Men. This cover is absolutely nuts. I'm really curious to see if this is going to be another Charles-focused issue or what. But I'm hoping to get a lot more time in the desert with everybody and seeing if they've made any headway at all whatsoever. We know... I'm trying to think if there's any other locations of mutants that we know now. Besides, of course, the Realm of X book that shows us that a bunch of mutants ended up in Vanaheim. We know exactly where they are. We don't know where Exodus and the other mutants are in the desert. We don't know what desert that is. We don't know if that's on Earth. We don't know. So it seems like they were pretty much just scattered, possibly all over the universe. So pretty crazy. But yeah, very excited to read more Immortal.
Yeah, I mean, Kieran Gillen and Jerry Duggan right now seem to be at the head of the X-Men mainline story. Al Ewing is taking care of his own front, but they seem like Kieran and Jerry are really working hand in hand here. So I'm definitely excited to see. It seems like we're getting this version of Wolverine in the desert. So I'm wondering, what is this place? Is this maybe a sign to what they're going to have to deal with inside this new world? So very excited to see what happens.
Yeah. And what is your final pick?
My final pick is Swan Songs number 3. Second issue for me was phenomenal. I loved it. I thought it was an amazing use of the artist that I met through All Against All, Caspar Wingegard. I thought it was phenomenal use of blue and pink, the way that certain texts were in blue and certain texts were in pink, and you could read them in tandem or you could read them separately to get their side of the story completely. I read that issue 3 times to fully get the story, and I loved it. The quality of this series is impeccable. It seems like W. Maxwell Prince, the writer, is really catering to the people that he's working with. And now we're going to get Felipe Andrade, who did The Many Deaths of Lila Starr, very painterly-esque artist. And so I'm very hyped to see what else we're going to see from this series. This series is, so far as we know, is going up to issue 5. And I honestly could see it keep going. Like, just let them keep at it. I love how catered this is. And I love that this is an anthology series. In this one, we're going to be seeing the end of the world, which means the beginning of a new one. And yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, this series has had nothing but amazing artists just showcasing their talents, and shows how well Prince can work alongside them. Issue 1 for me is still like a really hard bar to pass, just because I feel like the story and the art were so strong together. But I think it's just this is a great template. This is a great formula. You could do this for a very long time if you wanted to. So yeah, I could definitely see more issues of this happening in the future. And yeah, very solid series, very well done.
Yeah, probably one of the best new indie series I've read in a while.
Definitely.
But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this weekly polls for September 6th. We're excited to crack into our books and read. So what are you reading? Comment down below. Remember to like, subscribe, support your local comic shop, and read comics. Till next week.